Moto2 is about to get underway for the first time in over 3 weeks. We are about to go racing. Welcome to round 13 of the Moto2 World Championship live here on JB Motorsports. Let's get into all the action and head down to the grid then and join our colleagues trackside at TNT Sports.
Yeah, I think he's been conservative there because yesterday he was definitely the strongest. That said, you know, slipstream and following it does make a big difference, like we've seen in the Moto3. So, you know, if somebody is like a couple of tenths out of his pace, might be able to hang on a bit with him, but he's definitely the favourite here. Yeah, for me, the interesting guy is Celestino Vietti in third in that front row, you know, with the Bosco here. The other guys have been really struggling. But Vietti around this track, previous winner around this track actually in Moto2, he's very, very strong around here. And yeah, it could be the surprise. Let's see how the Bosco chassis, you know, reacts with the tyre wear, the tyre degradation compared to the Calyx. So yeah, it could be the surprise. But like I said, Manuel Gonzalez is the favourite.
Got a Calyx in Albert Arenas, who we were just seeing shots of there. We're looking at the grid, and on to Barry Baltas, who goes from 11th from the 4th row.
Yeah, I said this earlier in the weekend. This track's not a good one for Barry because of all the really slow corners onto hard acceleration onto straights. He's one of the taller, heavier riders, and just basically getting that mass stopped and then accelerating it out. When you think of some of the smaller riders like your little David Alonso's or Diogo Moreira sat there on the front row of the grid, I feel like he's almost giving away 2 or 3 tenths a lap. So I think he'll go forward. Baltus, he's an aggressive rider anyway, but I can't see him battling for the podium.
Colin Via learning all the time this year.
Another rookie that's done well this weekend. Colin Via has been doing really well actually. A good progression, so he's carrying it on. You know, getting better and better, faster and faster, learning. So for him, coming from 9th on the grid, you know, it's a great opportunity to get stuck in and learn a lot, you know, from the more experienced riders. Sorry.
Yeah, and Alonso Lopez there, he's going from 10th place, heading that 4th row of the grid alongside Barry Baltas. We saw a brief glimpse of Aaron Canet, who actually looked quite animated on the grid. I'm surmising a little bit because we didn't get to see him very much, but I still can't get over it.
I saw him earlier in the paddock walking through with his shorts, and he's not limping. Honestly, he looked absolutely fine. So, I mean, he landed on the back of his head, but then obviously that took an impact, but then he hit the best part of his leathers, like the hump and all the back protector. Obviously the airbag went off. Don't get me wrong, it was still a huge impact, but he sort of fell as good as you could, as violent as it looked. He sort of, I mean, he slapped his legs down, but he's not limping. He'll be fine. Canet will go forward from 8th.
It'd be amazing to see what he can do today.
I reckon he can be on the podium.
Wow, that would be phenomenal, really. Diogo Moreira, can we just have a longer chat about him? Because we know he's multi-skilled and, you know, going from the front row, clearly there's a few riders to contend with. Manu Gonzalez we've talked about extensively, but a shot of the podium today?
Yeah, sure. With Diogo Moreira, it's, for me, when I look at him and when I look at the weekend he's had, you can tell it's pure talent. He was struggling, managed to put the laps out, managed to always get through and managed to do that really quality lap to get on that front row. Diogo Moreira is class. You know, he's one of those class riders, just like Manu Gonzalez. So yeah, definitely a shot for the podium.
Talk of him moving up to MotoGP. Just quickly, the likes of Jake Dixon, Joe Roberts down there in 2021. What chance have they got of moving up to the front in Moto2 here?
The issue is you start from the 7th row of the grid. You've got a first gear hairpin first corner. You've got a technical weird chicane, that sort of like a bodged up chicane for the next section. Then you're up to another tight hairpin. Very difficult to make any progress.
Yeah, need miracles, it sounds like, doesn't it, today? The sun's shining here then on the Red Bull Ring, and Michael Laverty has gone to join Gavin Emmett for commentary for this one. It's time now for Moto2.
Yeah, intermediate class time in Austria, and Daniel Gardo inheriting pole position after championship leader Manu Gonzalez's 3-place grid penalty. Diogo Moreira and Celestino Vietti join him on the front row. We've got 23 laps ahead of us. How's this one going to pan out here in Austria? It's just coming up to 12:15 local time here in Austria, and it's the intermediate class that takes centre stage at the Red Bull Ring. 23 laps of Moto2 action ahead. Manuel Gonzalez was the fastest man in qualifying but drops 3 places. So it's Daniel Gardo who takes his first pole start in the class with Diogo Moreira and Spielberg winner last year, Celestino Vietti alongside. There's Gonzalez still heading row 2. He's joined by David Alonso and Senna Aegis, who came through at the end in qualifying there. But got to look further back for Aaron Canet, had decent pace this weekend, second in the championship. Starts from 8th after a bruising weekend. Barry Baltus there, third in the championship. His teammate lines up P11. And there you can see further back, Jake Dixon down in 20th. Winner last time out, Joe Roberts, down in 21st alongside him. Not where you'd expect those to be. Just a few struggles around this racetrack this weekend. Further back, we've got Mattia Pazzini back in again for another wildcard appearance. And then Yuki Kuni and Nakarin Atarat Puvapat, who's in once more as a replacement for the stricken Mario Aggi. Michael Laverty is alongside me for this race. I'm not going to say a mixed up grid, but with Olgado on pole position, I don't know, it creates a little bit tension before it for the likes of Gonzalez starting from row 2, because around him, Vietti, Moreira, Alonso, Canet, Arenas all have pace.
Yeah, exactly that. This weekend there's a number of riders that will bring the challenge to Manny Gonzalez. Starting from the second row, not a disaster though. You line up on the left side, which is leading you into more of a racing line into turn 1, so I expect him to get a good jump and through turn 1 cleanly. But Holgado from pole, I think he's always likes to lead from the front, as he did in Moto2 so efficiently at times. But Moreira alongside, quiet in terms of race pace, but 1 lap pace has been there. Vietti, previous winner around here, I think the dark horse for this race, just looking at his rhythm throughout the weekend.
Oh, he's won the last 2 years here, hasn't he? So you've got to think that Vietti's going to be able to manage it as well, which is going to be an important part.
Yeah, I expected maybe a little bit of tyre anomalies in there today, but it's all super soft. The softest option on the rear and the soft front tyre, so no one going for the standard SE0 soft rear option that was on the cards. But I still think you're going to have to manage it a little bit. It does take quite a bit of abuse in terms of the drive grip portion of the tyre, so having a little bit of traction in those last laps to fight may well play out at the end, and Vietti does it quite well, and so does the Boscos Euro chassis. So I think I'm feeling a Celestino Vietti day again here this year at the Red Bull Ring.
Be interesting to see. Manuel Gonzalez, championship leader, of course, there he is on the 18. He starts on the second row. It's this youngster, Daniel Olgado, winner once last year in his battle with his teammate David Alonso for the championship. What can he do from pole? He's been a standout performer in terms of the rookies this year, and he lines up on the front row alongside Diogo Moreira, who's back on form this weekend. Celestino Vietti on the number 13 on the inside. Gonzalez heads up row 2. Can Canet do anything to close that 25-point lead that Gonzalez has in the championship? He starts down on the third row of the grid in 8th place. There's your front row though, as we get ready to race here. 23 laps of Moto2 action at the Red Bull Ring here in Austria. Lights go out, so we're on the way. Not a good start from Moreira, a very good start from Daniel Gardo and from Manuel Gonzalez, who cuts across Moreira into turn 1. He's pushed wide though. He's pushed wide, is Gonzalez, really wide. He gets on the throttle on the outsiders. Vietti hung on. Oh, that's going to get really tight with David Alonso there. It's going to be Olgado who leads the way though. Moreira somehow recovers into second. Gonzalez in third.
And it's Joe Roberts and Jake Dixon across the gravel. It turned.
Oh, and a big crash at Senna Aegis has gone down on the outside there. Collision with Alonso Lopez on the exit from the chicane.
Yeah, I think Senna may have high-sided of his own accord, and then it looks like Alonso's had to take evasive action through the gravel, but fingers crossed for Senna. He was tumbling off track, which is hopefully meant he's no collision with another machine.
Diogo Moreira is taking the lead. Olgado didn't quite get it hooked up out of turn 3. Thought Vietti was going to attack Gonzalez, so it's the Brazilian, Moreira leading. Second place is from Daniel Olgado. Third is Manuel Gonzalez, and fourth is Celestino Vietti. That's your top 4 as they started, but they've swapped positions, all of them, pretty much at every corner so far. Senna Aegis looks a little bit worse for wear down there. It's a heavy one if he's high-sided out of there, like Aaron Canet did earlier this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Good to see him walking off, but he does look a little dazed there. So it's been a big old tumble through the gravel. Holgado looking at the rear tyre of Diogo Moreira down into turn 9. Thinks best of it this time around, but we know from Holgado's past he likes to be at the head of the field. Yeah. He likes clean air in front. and just setting his own rhythm.
That's a really good point, Michael. Every time in Moto3, he just loved being at the front, and he's taken the lead of this race. Moreira's going to try and outbrake him back on the outside, but Olgado has the line as Ortola comes through. Oh, Aaron Canet has a moment in turn one there and goes a little bit deep on the green paint for Diogo Moreira on the run up to the chicane. So that's one of his track limits warnings. A big warning from the front of Danny Olgado's bike as well as the Brazilian takes charge.
These riders are pushing on. I seen it this morning in rookies, a lot of riders going a little bit too far to the right and touching the green paint on the run between turns 1 and 2. And obviously that's still a mark against you, so you got to be careful here. Diogo Moreira already on lap 2 getting a mark against him for what is essentially a straight part of the track.
Yeah, and you've got to just make the kink, haven't you? If you cut through, they won't like it. And Celestino Vietti's going to take 3rd place now from Manuel Gonzalez. He's trying to make life hard for Gonzalez in the early stages, because I think Vietti thinks he'll have a little bit of pace, and he lent on Gonzalez through the kink.
He was not going to give up the spot easily there. Celestino Vietti just leant on top of Gonzalez, closed the door, and a little bit of a bump, but no harm done.
Yeah, and Gonzalez will just be happy enough there in 4th place, sit tight, know that he has really superior pace of anyone, as Aaron Canet takes to the inside there in a little battle that he's having with David Alonso, Tony Arbolino and Colin Vaya. It was Sasaki, wasn't it, that was just got through on Canet?
Ayumu's had some good pace this weekend inside the top 10 for Sasaki. Hope he can keep it going in this race. He's had a little bit of misfortune this season, but good to see the pace coming back.
Yeah, really good to see. Albert Arenas is the fastest rider on track, and Sasaki, as we say, that drops down the order. I think Sasaki might have gone, or at least run wide in that last couple of corners. He comes across the line. Where's he going to come through? He's dropped down our screens down to 14th. Now down to 16th. So easy, isn't it? If you lose a position, then you lose your rhythm, and you just go backwards and backwards.
These riders smell blood in the water. As soon as you get nudged off track, everyone tries to capitalise and send it down the inside. So I imagine Sasaki could have been assisted at turn 9 and punted off the track to lose so many places.
Yeah, Aaron Canet was the one who he just got past, so maybe it was Canet who did that. Down towards turn 4. Moreira leads then. Olgado is 2nd. Vietti is 3rd. 4th is Manuel Gonzalez. Albert Arenas had decent pace this weekend. He's there in 5th with Ivan Ortola. This is the turn 1. The chicane where you see Dixon and Roberts on the left-hand side. Still, it went under the bridge just as I was trying to watch Ages on the outside. Did you see what happened?
I couldn't see it, actually. I wasn't sure exactly how far up the field he was, so it looked like he got high-sided and threw up the middle of the track, to be fair.
Let me get another look at that one. Group of 6 pulling away at the front. David Alonso is chasing them in 7th place. But Ivan Ortola having an excellent start to his ride in 6th. Rookie's going well here, Michael. Why is that? Why Olgado, Ortola, Alonso all having decent pace? So Colin Valla's up to 9th, for example. Why is that?
I just think it's a coming of age. They're halfway through the season. The summer break is coming. Time to reset, think about the early rounds, and then come back and believe that you belong at the front of the field in Moto2.
Yeah, but time and again we say Moto3 to Moto2 the hardest step. Well, we've got the four that came up in the top 9 here.
Yeah, it does show you the level of those riders as Joe Roberts makes some moves through on Matteo Fossini. But yeah, I think the rookies, they are a class field that come up with David Alonso, Danny Olgado, Ivan Ortola. I got a feel for the World Supersport champion coming across. He had a lot of expectation, but when you've got that level of rider coming up from Moto3, they understand this championship just that little better.
I mean, you're talking about Adrian Huertas, of course. He's having a good ride.
He's having a good day,
in 11th place, just ahead of Barry Baltus. Isa Guevara's 13th. Munoz, Danny, that is in 14th place, replacing Dennis Onchu this weekend, who's out. He's broken his leg in a training incident. And Ayumu Sasaki just knocked out the points by Philip Salac currently.
Philip Salac, we hear rumours set to lose his seat in the Mark VDS team, but interest from Fantic Racing so far, I have heard, and possibly a Taltrans if Diogo Moreira moves to either Yamaha MotoGP seat or perhaps the Yamaha Moto2 Blue Crew squad. But yeah, we await some info on that moving and shaking that could happen in the coming weeks.
It's the Brazilian who leads across the line, Danny Olgado in 2nd place. We had the calendar for next year, not confirmed, provisional version of it, but Brazil is on there. And if it's this kind of performance we're going to see from Moreira, understand why people are thinking about him with the MotoGP future. He leads them at the end of the 4th lap, starting here with lap 5 up to turn 3 for the 5th time. On board with Manuel Gonzalez. As it's settled down, just letting the race come to him now. He knows that Vietti is strong, but what we have seen from Gonzalez is, again, a bit like Rueda in Moto2, paces himself well in a race.
Yeah, he does. He manages it, doses it out. Oh,
he's got a problem here. What's going on here for Manuel Gonzalez? Just as we're saying, there's a problem with his bike, and he's dropping like a stone down the order. He's going to have to go onto the curb on the inside there. Manuel Gonzalez has a serious problem with his bike, and he is dropping down the order. And look at the gap in the championship. Suddenly changed. He's now down to the points, the last point scoring position. Is he able to get it going again?
It's still running. Trying to listen to the engine.
Here we haven't quite got, the right mic. Oh, here we are. It's still going. He's having a look down, looking down to his left-hand side there, Michael.
Yeah, down to his gear lever foot. Whether it could be something, just the external components like a gear shift rod, or whilst I was on board, I was trying to listen, but I couldn't tell if there was anything.
No, again, he looks down to his left-hand side there, Manuel Gonzalez. Well, he's picked up the pace again, hasn't he? Into second gear. So he's second gear through there, third. So that's changing all right. Is he not able to use first or something?
No, it was in the middle of the straight on the run from 3 to 4, where you're at full throttle, you're shifting up the box. The engine sounds perfectly fine, it's pulling good, so could it be a fuel starvation, electronic quick shift issue, a little bit of a cutout, something untoward?
There's a little puff of something there at the back of the bike, but he's okay, he's got going again. Well, a head scratcher for Manuel Gonzalez, who drops right down the order, and that means Diogo Moreira at the front. He's in a prime spot now, isn't he? He's got half a second on Daniel Gardo. Celestino Vietti there in 3rd place, keeping tabs on them. But suddenly this has become a different race, because Manuel Gonzalez is 6 seconds behind. Surely that's his chance of victory gone.
Yeah, you would say so. Hey, it's obviously points are important today, with kind of having a tougher day than what he's accustomed to after the crash yesterday morning. But yeah, he's now seen his championship rival drop back behind him, and it's a day to capitalise, perhaps.
Well, it's hard to tell what's happened there with Manuel Gonzalez. Let's have a listen here, Michael.
Clicked it into 4th gear, and it just seemed to labour a little bit, that it wasn't pulling. But you can hear back shift in the engine hasn't cut out. But yeah, something on his left side that he's not happy with.
Puts his hand up. Is there like the selector rod, the lever or something?
Yeah, but he's shifting up through the box fine since that. So normally if you miss a gear or something feels untoward with the gearbox or the shift lever or the push rod, it's a problem that stays with you.
Well, he's making moves. He's just got past Salach and Huertas, and he's up to 12 on the comeback trail.
Very strange.
This
back to full pace again.
Yeah.
So something spooked him, that he's thought he's got a technical or a possible, maybe the engine felt like it was tightening up, but yeah, weird that he looked down at the left side.
Well, he's going again. We've said it a couple of times this year, haven't we, where things have just befallen Manuel Gonzalez. We talk about him cruising to the title, and he had a 25-point lead at the start of this race. The good news for him is that Aaron Canet is down in 9th, and he's not making much progress. He's behind Colin Fire, in fact. So, he might not lose too much in terms of the championship here now.
No, good for Moreira, though, at the head of the field. If it wasn't for his Saxon Ring incident, something's...
It's gone. Yeah. It's gone now. It's going to be no points. Something has happened here. So Manuel Gonzalez on the outside of the racetrack, whatever the problem, it's a technical for him. He pulls across the track to come in pit lane. Tom Luthi, there's Fausto, his crew chief, going to welcome him back, but what is the problem? A misty look to his onboard. You see at the left-hand side of your screen that Moreira and Olgado still out in front, but it's Manuel Gonzalez down pit lane, to retire from this race, or at least have his bike looked at. Chances of points have gone.
It does have the pull operated rear brake on his left handlebar where the clutch should be. But you need something quite significant to stop you there, unless it was dragging or the clutch beginning to slip. Just given the fact he kept looking to his left handlebar.
Right, and just to throw another little bit of spice into it, Diogo Moreira, your race leader, has a track limits warning. We are on lap 8 of 23. Ooh. So that means he's only allowed to use the green paint one more time. After that, he'll be getting a long lap penalty. And then we've got Danny Olgado waiting in the wings. Olgado quicker than Moreira on that last lap by a tenth of a second. Fastest rider on circuit as well is David Alonso in 5th place, winner of the Moto2 race here a year ago. It's a coming of age for the youngsters here, Michael.
It certainly is. David Alonso looking to make his way through, and he wastes no time whatsoever. Up the inside on the brakes into turn 1 in Albert Arenas. Doesn't go too wide onto the green paint. Nicely done.
Absolutely perfect from David Alonso, who's up to 4th place now. Well, this race has suddenly got a whole lot more interesting, hasn't it? We thought Manuel Gonzalez could cruise to this one. Maybe Celestino Vietti would give him a run for his money. But Moreira leads, Olgado closing on him. Vietti's there, had a little bit of a front-end wobble there, and then behind, David Alonso is motoring on quicker than the leader by a couple of tenths.
Yeah, you mentioned a coming of age. I'm looking at Colin Fire, and there in 8th, his personal best, matching better than the 2 leaders and matching pretty much the pace of Alonso last time around. So yeah, he's certainly found his feet this weekend and shown what he's capable of.
And Yvonne Ortola as well, in 6th place, ahead of Tony Arbolino. Not saying coming of age for Tony Arbolino. What are they looking at? Something.
Well, he's got water on the inside of his screen, so he's getting spray.
We said it was a bit misty, didn't we?
Yeah, he's getting spray on his face from the radiator.
Yeah. So has there been some damage? Has there been
possibly
a
stone through the rad? It's leaking, and then you can see his temperature gauge rising up. He's looking down at the left handlebar, trying to see where the spray's coming from.
Yeah.
He's realised the engine's going to expire eventually. Yeah, tough, very tough luck. You do have a rad guard in the front of these, and it's unusual for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? It could well be Senna Aegis' crash at the start, his teammate bringing gravel onto the track, and then...
Exactly, yeah, simple things. It can't even be the radiator cap leaking, weeping. I've had that before where it's spraying you in the face, and it's, especially at speed, when you get that hot water spraying up at you, it's really disconcerting.
Well, we saw the onboard, didn't we? Had that sort of misty look to it, didn't it? Normally a crystal clear HD shot from it, but yeah, something's been sprayed back. We surmise that it's from the radiator. Oh dear, poor old Manuel Gonzalez, having some bad luck on his way to trying to win this championship. Now, in terms of the championship then, Aaron Canet 25 points behind. As it stands, he's only picking up 7. It's like an open goal, but unfortunately he's about to be substituted. Is that, isn't it? Because I don't think Aaron Canet can go too much further forward here.
Although you never rule him out, he is fiery, feisty, fights through the paint barrier. On occasion we've seen him defy the odds, and he may well do that today, but it looks like attacks are coming from behind. He's got Guevara looking for a way through on him.
Yeah, and the pace, it's just the pace. He's 34.1. Leader Moreira 33.7. Olgado a 33.8. Vietti a 33.6. You know, and for Canet on that lap, 34.1. As his teammate came past, we've got a yellow flag in that last sector as Guevara now comes through on Canet. So if there's a crumb of comfort for Manuel Gonzalez, it's that his rival is not capitalising. Oh, Joe's gone down.
It's Joe in sector 4. Just a message from Steve Day. He has spoken to Jürgen Ling down in pit lane, and it was a stone through the radiator. So may well have been those stones from his teammate's machine after the crash in lap 1. Yeah, what a shame.
Oh, that is cruel for Manuel Gonzalez. Perhaps felt the hot water on his hands, felt it coming through. The engine was felt like it was running fine, but after a while, Michael, that wouldn't be the case.
No, you only have so many laps. And once all the water's gone, so is the engine. So yeah,
all the coolant drained from it, and then all of a sudden, that thing is going to overheat.
You're not actually allowed coolant. It is
water.
H2O.
Yeah, absolutely. By that I meant water.
So this race has got a different complexion now, very much. With, I think Alonso's going to make his way across to the rear wheel of Celestino Vietti. We know what David Alonso can do in a race when he gets in the battle.
Yeah, he just dropped off though on that previous lap. It's regained a little bit of mojo here. Let's have a see across the line now for David Alonso. Yeah, quicker on that lap than Moreira out front. Got to keep your nose clean as well. That's one thing Moreira's thinking about, isn't he? See him being much more precise now. The one when he took to the green paint on the inside there, out of turn one, it was strategic more than anything to make sure that he got ahead.
Yeah, he was protecting the inside, or getting it as far to the inside as possible, but it is one mark against him, and it just leaves him a little bit vulnerable. A long way to go in this race. We're just reaching the half distance mark, so yeah, it's one of those where you can so easily run wide at turn 1, touch the green paint, turn 9, the final turn. It's one of those circuits you have to be so careful.
Celestino Vietti starting to have a look, isn't he, here at Daniel Olgado. Very good on the brakes down there, Vietti. More sweeping line from Olgado. A bit wide for Olgado on that one, Michael. Having a little bit of struggle mid-corner by the looks of things. I wonder if his front tyre is starting to feel it.
Yeah, well, Diogo Moreira is just setting such a hot pace here, and Olgado trying to match it. Struggling a little bit on this lap. He's lost more or less 4/10. And Celestino Vietti not prepared to wait. I think he's going to attack as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's got to be turn 1 now for Vietti. Olgado definitely just missed a couple of apexes there. Regained some composure. Moreira still leads. Olgado 0.4, 0.5 now the gap. It was 0.528 across the line. And then Vietti lurking behind with David Alonso, only 1.4 behind Moreira at the front.
Just looking down the order, Jake Dixon's having a nightmare. Obviously had that incident on lap 1 that put him straight on at the chicane, but even his pace at the moment down in the 35.0 range, which is about a second or so off what he's capable of doing, so perhaps some issues out on track for him.
Yeah, I think he's struggling this weekend. Communication with the crew at the moment, I think down there it feels like it's been a tough time for Dixon.
I did see his knee look quite heavily strapped yesterday when he was walking about the paddock, whether he's carrying a little injury as well.
We saw him hobbling into the garage at one point.
Yeah.
I've not spoken to Jake this weekend, not had a chance to catch up with him, unfortunately, but yeah, it looks like an off weekend, and hopefully he can just put it in a box and come back next time. He's not going to score points today. Right, at the front, let's focus on the riders who are going to score points and score big. Diogo Moreira already taking his first Grand Prix victory in a brilliant battle that he had back in Assen with Aaron Canet. Can he make it to? Had two really off weekends, didn't he, in Germany and the Czech Republic?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's hurt his championship case, but I think with, well, especially with Manu Gonzalez on the nil point today, it's a chance to level things up a little bit at the head of the title race.
Yeah, that's true. There is Dixon, just ahead of Unai Oradre. Went wide early on. He's got Mattia Pizzini in front of him, but not the pace you'd expect. It just hasn't looked right. It actually started not too bad, just gone backwards as the weekend's gone on. This was the first lap.
Gets a little assistance from Darren Binder.
Yeah, for both him and Joe Roberts.
Yeah. Grassini man down the inside. I missed Senna's high side again. I just seen him tumbling at the top of the shot. Forgot to look on through the turn.
So much going on David Alonso's closing again, Michael. He's right on the back now of Vietti.
Yeah, the last couple of laps he's just been back into the 33.9 second range, 33.8, and that's allowed him to chip away. 1 or 2 tenths a lap is enough. Once you get right into the draft, you can take a little breather if you've had to work hard to get across, and then just compose yourself and try and come up with a strategy over these last 9 laps of how you're going to get to the head of this pack.
Yeah, we're starting to tick those laps off now, aren't we? 9 to go, and you'd think if Vietti fancied his chances here of making it 3 on the bounce, he'd like to start making moves soon, because the gap between Moreira and Olgado about half a second, that's steady, but Alonso behind has just done a 33.5, whereas the leader 33.8.
Yeah, impressive lap time for David Alonso. But yeah, we've seen it in the past with Celestino Vietti.
Here comes Alonso up to turn 3. One thing we learned about David Alonso, first sniff he gets, he'll have a go.
Absolutely, no time wasted. It did compromise his exit, and Kelly gets the cut back. But Alonso will send it back down the inside at the next available opportunity, and that's his tenaciousness. He just, such a good racer, understands the limits of everything, and he can find a way through. He gets very creative in a race.
Well, Steve, they asked him whether he was thinking about the win. He said the win isn't the thought. That's a bit wider there from Vietti compared to Alonso, but it must be in his mind now, Michael. He's under a second behind Moreira out front.
Yeah, it just looks like Diogo's got enough to keep a 4 tenths buffer or thereabouts. So yeah, for Alonso, he's got to get through here on Vietti. You can see Celestino a little bit wide in turn 6. It may be the Kalex Boscoscuro difference, or it could be that he just struggling a little bit to maintain his pace at this point in the race.
Well, we do know, don't we, with the Boscoscuro, it just doesn't quite turn in the same way. Finishing off the corners is one of the problems, and now Vietti's got his track limits warning come up. That will also, it's just another thing there where perhaps he's trying to sweep the lines that little bit more, and now you've got a track limits warning, so it just will affect him a little bit. Here comes Alonso. He's got the run on him here up to the chicane.
Not this time. He's possibly going to look at the... Yeah, Celestino's wide there, so this gives David the opportunity to get the drive up the hill and pull off the block pass that he almost managed the last time around. No, a little bit too far back this time.
Yeah, but Vietti is trying. He is just going late on the brakes into every corner at the moment.
It's hurt both of them there, actually. Celestino working too hard to keep the number 80 machine behind, and got it sideways, kicked him a little wide in the middle of the corner, and then that hurt both riders. They've lost a bit of contact.
Wide again, isn't it, from Vietti? He is struggling to keep Alonso at bay. David's just got to work this one out, because you feel like he has the pace to challenge at the front, but if he battles for too long here with Vietti, that could be what costs him.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to give him some work. It's 4 tenths at this point. 5 tenths for Vietti back behind Danny Holgado, so I think this is a move for turn 9.
Yeah, the gap had been down to about 0.7 at one point, and I think it's gone back out to over a second now, as Vietti and Alonso do battle. Vietti's making life so hard from him, for the Colombian behind. Yeah. Across the line, 7 to go. Brazilian leads from a Spaniard in 2nd, Italian in 3rd, Colombian in 4th. Again, Vietti just fires it towards that apex.
Yeah, Celestino's very strong in that area. And for David Alonso, he's trying to figure a way to get one past on the Italian. But yeah, it looks like even here, Sector 1, this has worked good for Celestino to get a little bit of inroads back on Danny Holgado.
Yeah, they are closing in again. Oh, long lap penalty for Chile. I haven't seen on that lap. I didn't see where he's exceeded track limits, but the long lap penalty coming up, so David Alonso is all of a sudden in the podium spots. To that spot, 2 and 3.
Very wide again. He's trying to do...
Oh, and a big moment there, and that's going to cost him. It's going to cost David Alonso, who had to roll out of it. So Vietti gets the long lap penalty. Is he going to be able to fight back? Is he going to try and repass Alonso? The long lap loop is at turn 1.
He may not have seen it on his dash as yet. He will get the board. His pit will signal him. He'll get the board from race direction at the finish line, and they'll have it on his dashboard. So yeah, he'll know he needs to immediately take it. Well, I think at this stage in the race, he'll try and take it as quickly as possible, and then get back to these 3 if he can do so.
Yeah, he's going to have to take it. It's not one of these where he can leave it till the end of the race. So, David Alonso cleared now. What's his gap? When we cross the line now to Olgado in front, 0.8 of a second behind Moreira. Danny Olgado now starting to look like challenging Moreira straight away. Celestino Vietti takes to the long lap loop. A reminder, Diogo Moreira also has a track limits warning hanging over his head, and that moves Albert Arenas, and now Tony Arbolino up into 5th place, making him the top Boscoscaro runner.
As Barry Baltus makes his way through on Colin Fire into turn 2A, cleanly done, he gains the spot.
Still Aaron Canet back in 11th place, will pick up just 5 points. So the gap at the top of the championship will be down to 20 between Gonzalez and he. But that's one talking point from the day. Could we have a maiden winner here today? If Olgado or Alonso do so, rookie winners, there aren't too many of them going around in Moto2.
No, a rookie win. I'm trying to think of the last one we've seen in the class.
Acosta probably?
Yeah, probably would be.
That'd be my guess.
Diogo Moreira did break his duck this year in Assen, but obviously not a rookie in the class. It is his second or third season in Moto2. Second full season, I think.
Second season, yeah. People who have gone on and won races in their debut season, you're talking of the likes of Maverick Vinales, aren't you? You're talking of the people who made the step straight up. Alex Rins,
yeah.
Went straight. Joan Mir went straight up into the top class. Jorge Martin, did he win one in his debut year? He definitely challenged. I think he might have done. Then was poached from under KTM's nose by Ducati. Got a race on our hands here in Moto2. 5 laps to go, or just under now, through the chicane. David Alonso, the quickest of this trio, in 3rd. But what we've seen from Moreira, Michael, as we saw in Assen, as we saw in the races where he was beaten to the line, like Aragon, he saved something for the end. He rides well on used tyres.
Yeah, very good in the scrap. Ultra aggressive, as Aaron Canet found out, to his dissatisfaction earlier in the year when he had to give best to Diogo Moreira. But yeah, it is definitely a knack. He has a really good skill of controlling the bike when it's sideways, it's sliding about, using the tyres when they're past their best, and still able to fight. It just stretched out a little bit on this lap between the lead 3, but yeah, I think Alonso's working hard to be here with the front 2.
That front looked nervous there, didn't it? Coming down the hill for David Alonso, and just on this lap, Moreira's just pulling away again. The gap between himself and Alonso was down to 0.7. 2 years ago, this trio were battling for wins in Moto3 as David Alonso crashes out of 3rd place. It's not to be. Big crash at turn 9 to David Alonso. The Colombian has tumbled out of it.
You could just see it was becoming a struggle. He was on the ragged edge to do those lap times, but he's not prepared to give in, and unfortunately just pushed too much at turn 9, and a podium disappears from his grasp.
David Alonso slides out of it at turn 9. It's a heavy one. It's a fast one down there. His front had protested previously at turn 6, and out he goes, which promotes Arenas back up to 3rd. And Celestino Vietti still has a chance of a podium here. In fact, he has just crossed the line in front of Albert Arenas. Across the line, across the next beam, in front of Arenas for 3rd. So despite his long lap, Chele could still get on the box here.
Yeah, he's rebounded quite well. Back 34-1 last time around, which is similar to Danny Holgado. So he had the long lap and then recomposed himself and gains the position back on Albert Arenas. So Chele, I think 5.1 back in the leader. It's going to be a struggle to get back to these two unless their tyres fall off a cliff, which is unlikely to happen in 3.5 laps.
No, I think Olgado's starting to labour though, isn't he now? Diogo Moreira, I will still remind you, has a track limits hanging over his head. Has got to just keep his nose clean, I think, for this remaining 3 and a bit laps of this race. This is the battle for 3rd between Celestino Vietti on the number 13. Of course, he is the top Boscoscaro runner in this race. I got that wrong before with Tony Arbolino. It's Vietti still. Now,
Little contact. Vietti got the run out of 2B. Sets it up the inside of Arenas. Just had to use his shoulder to make a little bit of room to execute the overtake, but all's fair on that one.
Actually making some room to get through and into 4th position. Good ride, a little bit deep there from Tony Arbolino. Good ride again from Albert Arenas. Putting together a few decent results.
He certainly is, and yeah, I think I've been a little bit critical of Albert earlier in the year, that there was a bit more expectation from the former Moto2 world champion, but he's answered those critics and now he's delivering results that he's certainly more than capable of, but it's been a tough few years for him in Moto2.
There's Aaron Canet. Can imagine he's a bit sore. Another point, of course, to his account after the tumble from David Alonso. So he'll pick up 6 for 10 unless something else happens in these remaining laps. Gap down to 19. After yesterday's crash, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, indeed, he could have been sat out or missing this weekend and Balaton next weekend, but yeah, he's going to gain 6 points as things stand and keep it under the 1 race buffer to the head of the championship.
Brazilian Diogo Moreira now has a 1.4 second gap. Olgado's challenge is waning. Keep your nose clean, Diogo. And after 2 anonymous weekends, yes, there was an injury, yes, there was penalties for Diogo Moreira. Sent to the back of the grid. He's recovered, and it's good to see.
Yeah, he looked a bit of a shadow of himself in Brno. It was a big impact he took in Sachsenring after that collision with David Alonso in the race, and the man who's been coming and building throughout the season is showing once again that he's still got his eyes set on this championship. Diogo Moreira. It'd be something special for the Brazilian flag to win a Moto2 title. We believe his destination is MotoGP, whether that's in 2026 or 2027, it will happen.
On board with Barry Baltus in 7th. He's coming forward actually at this stage of the race. He's quicker than everyone bar Moreira on track. So 3rd in the championship will pick up points on his teammates at the front. Let's doff our cap to Diogo Moreira. Fought to take the lead early on, didn't he, in this race, and in doing so managed the pace superbly.
Yeah.
And now he's got 1 lap to go before he makes it win number 2.
He's imposed a pace that it made life difficult for Holgado, it made life difficult for Alonso. There were mistakes from Vietti, and it is because Diogo is just so strong at the front. He's hit every marker in terms of his braking zones. He slides it to perfection into the apex, doesn't compromise his exit in the slightest. It's been bang on perfect pretty much throughout the entire race here. It has been such a clean run over these 23 laps.
You've got to give credit to Daniel Gardo though as well, haven't you, in 2nd place. First podium for him in his rookie season. His teammates already had one, now he's got one to his name, and arguably this is even better performance from Daniel Gardo throughout the whole weekend.
It is, starting from pole position, inherited once the penalty was imposed on Manuel Gonzalez, but he earned it. Daniel Holgado was ultra impressive in qualifying and then delivered once again in the race today.
There is Vietti, who's going to salvage 3rd place out of this one. I'm not sure he had enough for Moreira. I think it looks like he's right on the edge, doesn't it?
I think he possibly had a 2nd place in him today, but I agree, I don't think he would have been able to challenge this man. Diogo's been able to counter anything that's been thrown at him. No real attack has been placed.
Well, after 2 races off, effectively, for Diogo Moreira, where he hasn't scored points in Germany and the Czech Republic, the Brazilian is back with a bang to take victory here at the Red Bull Ring. 2nd win of the season. Moreira wins. Daniel Gardo takes his first podium in 2nd place, with Celestino Vietti rounding out the podium. There is delight for the Italtrans team. Moreira has done it again. Further down the order, Aaron Canet picks up an important 6 points in the absence of Manuel Gonzalez, who's stone through the radiator has cost him an extension of his championship lead today. Jake Dixon comes home in 20th. He will close the page on this one and hope to open a new chapter in Hungary. But what can you say about that ride from Diogo Moreira today?
Yeah, exceptional, showing his skill, his class, and the potential that everyone talked about for so long is currently on display week in, week out. Apart from his little indiscretion in Germany and then the tough weekend in Brno, he's been on such good form since pretty much Le Mans. He's been always there in terms of the podium.
Yeah, even in Germany, he was at huge pace, didn't he, when he made that moment, made that error coming back on the track too soon. Diogo Moreira is your winner in the Austrian Grand Prix. We'll hear from him and the other front runners when we come back from this break.
Carroll Nash Insurance sponsors MotoGP on TNT Sports.
This guy's vision, not normal. Tuesday and Wednesday nights aren't normal. Thursdays are wild too. Streets won't forget not normal. Not normal levels for untraditional Big Six.
Who you calling untraditional?
These throws weren't normal. Beth Techers aren't normal. Neither is 18 games at the same time. Normal can sling its hook. With all these competitions in one place, this is not normal. TNT Sports.
Some footballers know the truth. That hard work is a weapon. Used to live their dream, and then someone else's. So in a world of footballers trying to be the solution, what do? Football's got enough heroes.
Claims for Cars makes claims for cars easy. Enter your details and see in moments if you could be owed compensation. Go to Claims for Cars now. See if you could be owed serious compensation for diesel-related faults, financial mis-selling, or other car-related claims. Enter your details now at Claims for Cars. We make it simple to start a claim and get the compensation you may be owed. See just how simple. Give it a try. Enter your details at claimsforcars.com and know in moments. Do it now. You never know what you could be owed.
New Sure Whole Body Deodorant. All day odor protection. Sure, it won't let you down.
Carroll Nash Insurance sponsors MotoGP on TNT Sports.
Welcome back to Austria, where in Moto2, Diogo Moreira has run out victorious, flying the flag for number 26, Pau Alsina, a young rider who lost his life recently in Spain. Barry Baltus, good ride from the Belgian to take 7th place in that race, but loses 3rd to Moreira in the championship. In fact, Michael, with that victory for Moreira, with the DNF for Manuel Gonzalez, Moreira only 35 points now behind Gonzalez, with, of course, I'll remind you, 9 races still to come.
Yeah, certainly not insurmountable. He'll be setting his sights on a title tilt here with Diogo Moreira on the form he's been on. As we mentioned, just the Brno weekend, the tough one, not having the speed to battle, but yeah, as I mentioned, actually looking back through the order, he's been top 5 every weekend since Qatar, and that's championship winning results, especially in Moto2. If you've got that consistency on your bad days to be getting a top 5, then yeah, you build a championship campaign.
Party time for the Italtrans team. No strangers to winning the championship, to remind you. They did so with Enea Bastianini. Goes to be Wade as he shakes hands with Celestino Vietti. Really good ride, having taken a long lap penalty into 3rd. And then Danny Olgado on the podium for the first time in Moto2. Dennis Fodger down there congratulating him. Excellent ride from Danny, having started in pole, qualified 2nd, and comes home in 2nd. A great return for his weekend here.
Looked so good on the bike, and yeah, he was trying his best in the middle part of the race there to really give Diogo something to think about. But as a rookie, first podium of the year, that just lifts a little bit of weight off your shoulders. He's shown promise, shown speed, and not quite got to stand in the box, but this weekend that one has now been signed, sealed and delivered.
Chele Vietti, long lap penalty for exceeding track limits too many times during that race. That dropped him out of the fight. He was 2.9 seconds behind Olgado at the end. A reminder, he had to come past Arbolino and Arenas after he did that long lap penalty. Feel like he had a second place in him. I don't think he'd have been able to quite challenge Moreira though. There's Jake Dixon, understandably crestfallen about how things have gone this weekend. I think he's talking to Marina, who's team manager down there.
Strange, he set his personal best lap on the last lap around, faster than anyone on track. So, yeah, perhaps he still felt like he was able to push later in the race. But yeah, in the middle part, it just looked like it was a struggle for him. Strange old weekend for Jake. He's not had enough weekends such as that throughout the season. But yeah, you can see the anguish on his face, whether it is an injury that we're not aware of, or perhaps just missing a little bit in terms of setup this weekend.
I've heard a bit of strain there in directions with the team, with the crew. But I just, yeah, hope they can regroup before next time. We've got to give credit to those who have had the success today. Chele Vietti back on the podium for the first time since Argentina. Would have had one at the opening round in Thailand, but for his contretemps with Senna Aegis. Let's hear what he has to say to Jack Appleyard down in Parc Fermé.
Chele, 3 podiums in a row here at the Red Bull Ring. We know how much you love this place, so to be on the podium after that fierce fight with David and then the long lap penalty as well, satisfied at the end of it all?
Yeah, I'm satisfied, especially because we don't arrive from a really good period. So, yeah, really nice to be back here. A bit disappointed because I don't know where I touched the green, because I don't felt that I touched the green in the exit of the corner. So maybe some parts that I don't see it. And yeah, anyway, really good job, and thanks to the team because they work really hard. I hope to be stronger in Hungary.
Great job, well done.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, we didn't see it either, Chele, and we're on the outside. We've got a better view perhaps than you have.
This one does catch you, where it just jinks off at the end of the curb. Remember, Moto2, Jorge Martin, was it back
against Marco Bezzecchi?
Yeah, what year that was, but we've seen it before.
Yeah, 2018 perhaps. Yeah, he and Bezzecchi doing battle in that one, and the result got overturned on that occasion, if I remember rightly. Was it Moto3? Moto2?
I thought it was Moto2.
Yeah. Marco Bezzecchi won in 18, so it might be Moto3. Right.
Danny, huge congratulations. What a brilliant ride to take your first Moto2 podium. Just how good does it feel to be stood here on the box?
Yes, super happy with my first podium in Moto2 class. I was working very hard during the summer for the second part of the season. I'm super happy with the job. After a good job during the weekend, all the season in top 10, very good with the performance. Thanks to the team for the amazing job, for the amazing bike, because the bike was really fast. Nothing. I need to enjoy the moment, enjoy the podium, and see you the next week.
Congratulations.
Fantastic performance all weekend from Danny Olgado. Can be really proud of what happened. Good job. Well done by the Aspar man. And, you know, probably overshadowed a little bit by the star quality of David Alonso, but he is quietly getting on with the actual business, isn't he?
Yeah.
Of getting the results.
It's what he does best. We've seen it in Moto3, and he's building a good Moto2 season.
We've seen it in Junior GP2. Diogo Moreira, though, cream of the crop today. He takes victory, second of the season for the Brazilian.
Diogo, that was a statement win to kick off the second half of the season, with Manu scoring no points and you scoring 25. It's game on in the World Championship. Just how important a victory does that feel?
Yeah, only say thanks to my team. It was a great weekend, so I'm proud of this. Yesterday morning we make a good pace, and I think was this the key for the race. And yeah, only say thanks, and this victory will be for Pau Alsina. He was training with me always, so this will be for him.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Once again, an emotional. It's very difficult when the riders know the young lads so well, as obviously they were great friends, and a victory dedicated. Terrific riding from all of those three riders, actually, and Diogo being able to capitalise on the situation and close the gap with Manu Gonzalez having that issue, and just closing that third point. Championship still open.
Yeah, and well, last two rounds, Diogo was unable to finish, and really had this trouble period. So he comes back strong after the summer break. He's just a class of the man. You see the way he rides, how smooth he is on the bike, the little inputs and his body position, absolutely perfect. He would make a perfect MotoGP rider, and again, he's proved it today.
Yeah.